Bryan Battle coming up large at home.
Listen here, DC. I put these hands on anybody, they might go to sleep.
On the nose, a little bit on the chin, sits him down. I mean, come on, the power of that man.
Just like we said, recycle. So I knew that it was going to be there. If I shoot it to the body, come back to the head with it.
Mohammed, the Motor Usman!
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at
it. Welcome to the UFC Unfiltered podcast. How humiliating. As I start, Matt, my air conditioning turns on. So now I have to, in an embarrassing fashion, turn it off so you don't have to hear the zzzz in the back. We have Mohammed Usman will be joining us in a little while. And we have Bryan Battle in the waiting room. We'll be getting to him in just a moment. Fighting AJ Fletcher. Looking forward to this show. We've had both of these guys on before, both before big wins. So we're good luck for these guys.
We're like we're rabbit's foot. Do people know what that is, the kids now?
They do, yeah. Good luck.
I don't think they do. How about that? I don't think they do. No.
Maybe they don't. Maybe you're right.
I think we should do a poll. I think Bryan Battle will probably know.
Do you know what an awful poll that would be, though? Do you know what a rabbit foot means? Who would participate in that? That's a terrible poll.
That's going to be my question when I have to go to something.
Yeah.
Do you know what a rabbit's foot is? I don't know. Let's just delete that from everything.
They are fighting on this card, Matt. This Saturday, Fiziev versus Gamrot. What a fight between Gamrot against Rafael Fiziev. You got Bryce Mitchell, Dan Ige is the co-main, Rena Rodriguez, Michelle Waterson Gomez, and Bryan Battle. AJ Fletcher's on the card. Ricardo Ramos against Charles Jourdain. What a fucking card, man.
Man, Jimmy, what time did you get up this morning?
I am ashamed to say I overslept because my phone died, so I was an hour late to my own radio show. I woke up at 8:15 because my phone battery died. My alarm never went off.
You know how Rocky wakes up at the crack of dawn and he crack open the eggs, he'd crack open, drink it, and go down. It seems so like hardcore. That was me this morning, but not eggs. I had my protein powder. It was birthday cake flavored, but had that in a shaker. And I felt kind of like Rocky, so I was like, I drank it down. But anyway, we have
Battle. I hate to interrupt that story for Bryan Battle, but let's get him in here. I mean, we hate to have so much excitement up front, and then the guests can't follow it.
Oh my goodness, you get me like.
Hey, there he is. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Bryan.
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
Good to see you.
What's going on, man? You look like David Lee Roth from this angle with your hair. You're a young man, too. Let me see. Turn your head to the side a little bit. Is it dyed? Oh, yeah. That makes all the sense in the world. From the first angle, it looked a little weird. You look good, though, bro. I wish I could have fucking hair to do shit like that.
But you look good. You're rocking. That's like it's like you and Michael Jordan. You guys are the best bald-looking guys I know. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Bryan. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take that. Even though I don't believe it, I'll take it. That's what happens when you get old. You're just like, fuck it. Whatever he says, that's nice. I'll take it. Now, you obviously had long hair. Do you like having? Isn't it easier this way? Like without it doesn't get in your face when you're fighting and doesn't stick to you when you're rolling.
Oh man, it's so much more convenient. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just the maintenance of it by itself. You know what I'm saying? Like all the different ways you got to take care of it so it doesn't look like trash. And like you said, when because there's pros and cons when you got long hair, when you're grappling or you're fighting or whatever, because people can't see your eyes, you know what I'm saying? So they can't see where you're looking sometimes, you know what I mean? It's good for establishing rhythm and whatnot. But then basically any time and place it can get caught, it does get caught. You know what I'm saying? I've had my hair get stuck in the cage underneath people's elbows. You know what I'm saying? Someone stepping over. Yeah. So it's definitely overall more convenient having short hair.
Well, look at Clay Guida. It's almost a part of him. Like when you watch him fight, you know that his hair is going to be just matted to him. And it just seems so distracting. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you're training with it, you get used to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's 100% more convenient. What did make me laugh though was you really figure out how many people weren't a fan of your hair after you cut your hair. You know what I'm saying? Like people were like, "Oh, you look so much better." And I was like, "Wait a minute,
That's funny."
Wait a minute.
Now, did you get the opposite of that with maybe anybody, maybe even some female fans saying, "Oh no, that glorious hair," because that hair. It can be argued that hair also, when you have that flowing, could establish a rhythm with the ladies.
Well, listen, my rhythm with the ladies is God given. You know what I'm saying?
Damn fucking right, Bryan Battle. Damn right. Sorry, man.
No, let me calm down. I'm a married man. Let me calm down.
Oh yeah,
sure. Well, you still have the gift. You just don't use it. The gift is there. You just don't use it.
It's dormant. It's dormant. And, we're trying to keep it that way. But no, there's definitely. I mean, speaking of, I did an interview with Karen Bryant the other day, and she was talking about how much she misses my long hair and everything like that. I'm like, don't say that to me. Don't say that to me. You're breaking my heart right now. You know what I mean?
What was the decision that made you to do it? Did you just get sick of it? And you're like, this will be so much easier?
No, I actually, it was generally like a win streak thing. As long as I was on a win streak, I kept growing my hair out. And so when I lost my fight to Renat, I was like, okay, well, it's time to start all brand new. We gotta, I gotta reevaluate some things. I gotta figure out, what I'm doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's time to, trying to get rid of the old and with the new. You know what I'm saying? Fresh start.
And then 14 seconds later, you might be the opposite of Samson. Your hair might have been you cut that shit off. Now look at you now. Look at you now. I mean, that fight, come on, man. You blink and you missed it. It was beautiful.
No, it was funny. That was the first combat sports thing my mom has ever gone to. Like, she's never gone to a practice, never gone to a grappling tournament. Because I don't ever blame her. She has a hard time watching it. But so she went to this fight because it was in my hometown, and she was there. And as soon as the fight started, and he came at me, throwing punches, they said that she was leaving the row. She said, "I can't watch this," and she started leaving the row. And before she could get out, my dad grabbed her and he was like, "It's over." And she was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "The fight's over." And she turned around and I'm running around, like jumping around, celebrating. So,
well, we have the fight, Bryan. We have the fight. Do you have 14 seconds to spare? Can you spare 14 seconds?
I guess, let me check my schedule. I got it.
All right. Now our producer is saying he has the fight. So let's see if we can pop this up.
Green closing a minus 135 betting favorite. Green is in green, and Battle is in the black.
All right, Gabe comes in very aggressive. Puts you up against the cage, and there's your short right. That's the end of that fight. Done.
Well, there you go. I mean,
that was it.
Hey, doesn't it feel, when you have a win like this, all the hard work you put in, and it's over like this, how satisfying, especially coming off of a loss. It must have felt. You tell me how it felt.
Man, it was, because like you said, we put in a good hard camp. You know what I'm saying? I felt more prepared than I'd ever felt going into a fight, and even on top of that, like I said, being in my hometown, I hadn't fought in Charlotte since 2018. I want to say I hadn't fought in North Carolina since 2019. So, I'm there, I got all my friends and family there. You know what I mean? There's just the love and the support that the people, I was the second fight on the card, but the venue was almost packed out. You know what I mean? So it was really a magical moment. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to put into words everything that was going through me at right after the knockout. It was just like, yeah, it was just incredible. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the best feelings I've ever felt in my entire life.
And not that the loss to Fakhretdinov messed up your confidence, but I mean, it's always, I'm sure, some kind of a hit after you lose. it must have just put you right back where you needed to be mentally too. Because it wasn't like, he was fighting well. He came out very, very aggressive. And his punches seemed to be landing. I'm not sure how many of them were hurting you at all, but you just seemed to just a beautiful, perfect counter. Was he hurting you at all?
No. And most of the punches missed.
They were missing. Okay.
But it's like, his base was kind of off. He was kind of coming. I think he was trying to fluster me a little bit. And I think he was really looking to set something up, like a takedown or something eventually. But then I think the crowd got to him a little bit too, because that's just, even if you want to be aggressive like that, that's just what he was doing was reckless. You know what I'm saying? You can't be reckless like that in the UFC. Yeah, no, for me, I just was waiting for him to end the combination. That's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this will end soon. And then we hit the cage. I was like, oh, he's still going. I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to make me back you up, I'll back you up. And, he never had the chance to back up. So, yeah, it was definitely an interesting game plan on his end. But, at this level, you can't come at people like that. You know what I mean?
That's right. Like the aggressive thing that would, in real life, outside of a cage, would probably just blitzkrieg somebody and you'd put them out. But on the level you guys are fighting at, that's nothing you haven't seen before. If a guy's going to do that, every punch had better be accurate, and every punch you better feel, because you're just leaving yourself open for a counter. And it's always interesting for me as not a fighter to watch just how you guys are not thrown by the thing that would have devastated me in the mall parking lot, watching a real fighter just back up against a cage and just counter beautifully.
Well, like you said, if you go on the regional scene, there's a lot of times where, coming out and just being really aggressive and tenacious can work for you. But at this level, you should be able to expect the fighters to have enough composure to kind of measure all those things that you just said. You know what I'm saying? All right, how much is he actually putting on these punches? All right, is he leaving himself wide open? All right, where are his feet at? You know what I'm saying? Is his head moving? You know what I'm saying? So, you could get away with that on like the regional scene potentially, but at this level, you just can't leave yourself open. You can't win off pure aggression and tenacity. You have to have technique and smart tactics when you're fighting in there.
Yo, hey Bryan, only because I knew I remember from last time when we talked about you grew up watching Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z and anime.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something right now because I know you're not going to judge me. Jimmy might judge me. Jimmy can be a little bit of a bully. I don't think you think of that when you think of Jimmy. But today, guys, one of my black belts, Mondo, what a great guy. He surprised me and he got me and my family, and including Uncle Edwin. We're going to Comic-Con.
Oh, snap.
Let's fucking go.
Comic-Con where, in New York?
Comic-Con in New York, yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
In October. So I'll be going. Crazy. It's going to be in a few weeks. And would you ever see yourself going to one of those to fucking just hang out, or would you be like, no, too many geeks in cosplay?
Oh no. I'm 100% there. I'm 100% there. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been to one in a while, but No, I'm there. I'm looking at all the nerdy, figurines and looking at, special, rare comics and everything like that. No, I'm in there. I'm all up in there.
Nerdgasm.
They're fun. I've gone and interviewed people at them. I've never actually hung out at one, but other than interview people, and it's a fascinating group of people. I mean, it's people whose whole lives revolve around that scene.
I could have you fit in, Jimmy. I'll dress you like a Jawa. So you see other Jawas, and they go, Hoodie! And you go, oh! And they'll be, I go, Jimmy. But look, maybe we could do that another time.
Another time.
Yo, Bryan Battle. I can't just say Bryan because you have such a cool fucking name. You don't even need a nickname with Bryan Battle. Yeah. What are you doing now? What are you doing when you're not fighting now? Give us a hobby you're doing for the audience. Well, I know you're married, man. What do you like to do when it could be anything when you're not training. And it could be a Netflix. It could be anything you're watching on a streaming. It could be a book, anything. Talk to me.
Well, I tell you, since fighting became my job, I need to find like another hobby or whatever.
Yes.
I've gotten really into open wheel racing.
This is interesting. Well, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, like Formula One and IndyCar and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I've gotten really into it. And I like the dynamic of like, the driver is really important, but the car is also just because in Formula One, they're not all the same car. Like one car could just be better than the other cars, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I love it because I'm watching it. It's like the focus it takes. They have to race for an hour to 2 hours, and they can't have one mental slip the entire time. You know what I mean? They're driving. Their lives are on the line every time. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to me because you need a top tier driver if you're going to win a championship. But a top tier driver is not enough. You also need a top tier car for that driver to operate in. As like you need a top tier car, but the top tier car isn't enough. You need a top tier driver to operate that car. And so that's kind of what I feel about being a fighter. Like you need a high fight IQ. You need your brain, your reflexes and everything super sharp. But if you don't have like a world caliber, like a championship caliber body to be able to pull off those things, you know what I'm saying? If you're not like healthy and taking care of yourself and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? You need both things working together, the mind and the body working together, kind of like that driver in his car, you know what I'm saying?
And it's not surprising because fighters, a lot of you guys are very like adrenaline driven, because what you do is so high risk. So it's probably hard for you guys to find anything that you can invest excitement in because what's high risk compared to almost getting knocked out? Oh, that's right. Slamming into a wall doing 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like you look at racing the way I look at fighting, like, you know what I mean? Like I can't comprehend it and the danger associated with it. There's a very, very high price if you truly fuck up while you're driving.
Facts, 100%. The margin for error is slim to none. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in fighting. The margin of error is slim to none. So, that's it. So I do a lot of karting. So I say that I'll do some karting with my buddies. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we do these like races. They'll be like 2 hours to 5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that great at it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's definitely a lot of fun. That's kind of what I've gotten into since fighting's become my job.
That's a great fucking answer. I like some people just like, I'm just too busy to do anything. I train. I go, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding. But that's fucking a great answer. Now listen, with those type of things, when you get into something, sometimes you get into like a movie that like Days of Thunder, Gran Turismo, Talladega Nights. Is there any movies you like with that type of with running the
Ford versus Ferrari. The one with Christian Bale and Matt Damon.
Oh, what was that? I guess it was about Ford versus Ferrari.
They were.
I'm about to say, what's that about?
They were racing in the Le Mans, and Ferrari was like killing everybody, and Ford wanted to make a competitive race car, and so it was like Ford taking on Ferrari in the Le Mans.
Oh, shit.
It was a good movie.
No, yeah. If you haven't seen that, I would recommend that one. That's probably my favorite racing movie ever.
That's interesting.
There are some other ones. There's a good one with Richard Pryor called Grease Lightning, where he played Wendell Scott, I think. It was a true story based on a driver in, I guess, the 50s or the 60s. Days of Thunder, I've never seen. I'm not a big fan of racing movies. Have you seen any of those other films?
I've seen Days of Thunder. I didn't see the one with Richard Pryor, but I've seen Days of Thunder is all right. I didn't feel like I wasted my time, but I also wasn't blown away by it. You know what I'm saying? It was a good movie. You know what I mean? It was a solid movie, but
you wouldn't see it again.
Have you ever watched Rush with Hemsworth and I can't remember the other guy?
No.
There's yeah, I mean, there's a couple of racing movies out there, you know what I mean?
Well, what are you expecting out of before I forget, Joaquin Buckley had mentioned you. And he's a very, very exciting fighter, and he was complimentary of you. Do you have any desire to fight him, or how do you see that? I think, what was he saying? You guys fight in the win against Ian Gary. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. I mean, that's what in our ideal world back like 2 months ago, that's what we were trying to make happen. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to generate some hype.
Sure.
I would love to fight Joaquin. That would be a great fight. You know what I mean? Like I said, Joaquin, you know, I have nothing against him personally as a dude. He seems like a fun guy, but you know, professionally speaking, you know, I feel like that would be the biggest matchup I've had to date based off name recognition, and I feel like it's a great matchup for me. So I would love to fight Joaquin, and you know, I don't get in a fight with Ian Gary. That's kind of like the golden ticket right now. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? They definitely got some plans with him, so I'm not really too concerned. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other guys to fight, so many other guys to And my end goal isn't fighting anyone in particular. My end goal is to be a champion one day. So all these other guys, you know, if that's what they're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to fight each other eventually. So you know,
I do love when a fight. Sometimes you hear a fighter plan things out. Like I like how Joaquin thinks, though. Like, all right, look, me and you will fight. The winner gets Ian Gary, and if Wonder Boy's not available, then the loser fights Leon Edwards. Like guys, we just have this map plan that nobody else signed up for. But that is a great fight. You guys is a really great fight. And Ian Gary, I imagine they're going to have, because he's 13-0, they're probably going to try to shoot him up a little higher in the rankings. But that's nothing to do with ability, just the numbers game.
That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not too, and he's made it very clear he doesn't plan on fighting anyone below him in the rankings. So, you know, that's why I'm not sweating it too much. You know what I mean?
Man,
I don't blame him.
Keep taking him out another 20 seconds, dude. You'll get that fight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen one of these days. So, you know, when it happens, it happens. Until then, I'll keep on handling my business. I'll handle AJ Fletcher on Saturday. I'll keep on training. I'll keep on getting better. And, you know, when we fight, you know, we'll see what happens.
Have a great fight, Bryan. Good talking to you as always. You know, you're a really exciting fighter, and great. It's great having you on. So come back again, okay?
Yeah.
Hey,
Brian.
thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Have a great fight,
Thanks,
Saturday.
Brian. Great, man.
Yes. Him and Joaquin is a great fight. I mean, and I like the way Joaquin thinks, but again, it's just not necessarily realistic to think a guy 13-0 would fight down numerically. It just doesn't. It's crazy to do that. Because if you're going to take a loss, you might as well take it from fucking Stephen Thompson as opposed to someone who isn't ranked yet.
You know, I think of the haircut. You know,
mine.
It's great. What's that?
Oh, you said the haircut. I didn't know who's your man.
Yeah, and I think of fighting. And now, listen, in MMA now, it's not that big a deal because they can't grab your hair. I want to go back to the fucking, what is it? 1998, the WEC, not the WEC, WCC. It was one of these things that went under. Henzo fought in it, right? It was like, it was going to be like another UFC. It was pretty nice. You know, it's one of those that was like a one and done event.
Sure.
But Henzo went in, he won. Henzo won. He fought 3 times in one night.
Wow.
And he won that. And it was great. But there was a boxer in it, James Waring. And he was a big guy, strong. And he was tough. But he fought a very skilled martial artist. Now, this guy's been around. I'm friendly with him. I know him from a long time. His name's Eric Paulson. He's a Jeet Kune Do fighter. He's pretty well-rounded. And he fought in that. He beat. And he also fought in Japan. He beat a guy named Ben Spikers, who's a very good judo guy who Henzo would put to sleep in this competition. How did
he put him to sleep?
Yeah, that guy back then, that judo player wore a gi, believe it or not. And Henzo didn't wear a gi. So they had some bad blood there because the guy was a real smart ass. Henzo went to be polite to him at the fighter meeting. And the guy told him he has eyes like his girlfriend and he was being a wise ass to Henzo. Also, pranking Henzo's phone all night, like ringing the phone all night, messing with him. Yeah. This guy was a piece of work. Henzo put him to sleep with his gi, got his back. It was a good back and forth with as far as with a little exchange because the guy was a judo player of a little flow on the floor. Henzo got his back, got his collar. Henzo's a big believer in the gi. He loves it. So that guy had one on, so Henzo used it against him and put him to sleep with it. I love that shit. Love it. And then he stepped on his neck, which wasn't very good. And then Cecil Peoples grabbed him and was like, what are you doing? So that was one of the first times I seen Renzo fight, is when he put this judo guy to sleep and he put him and he stepped on his neck. But the point being, Renzo ended up fighting that guy in the finals, James Waring, the boxer. And he beat him, took him down. He closed the distance. Renzo's amazing. And a big weight difference. This was before weight classes. But the long point that I'm getting at is that Eric Paulson ended up fighting that James Waring. And he would grab that hair. He had a ponytail. Now, Eric, who's not an idiot, he's a smart guy. He had like a movie role that was coming up. That's why he kept the hair, he said. Because I was always wondering why that. And I heard him in an interview saying that he kept his hair long for some kind of movie role he was going to do, or he's a stuntman or something like that. And I believe he was a stuntman. But so the guy wrapped his hands around the hair. And even though he's a skilled martial artist, he just had that control of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a fight, that's a fucking problem, man. You ever see some girls fighting and they're still mounted on
Sure,
their
100%.
head? Talk about controlling somebody's posture.
Yeah, they really do grab each other's hair, and both of them are ducked down. Like they're both walking like kind of bent over, facing the ground because of their hair. By the way, speaking of gi chokes,
Please.
I was attempting some today, and I noticed that my hands were a little short. I wasn't getting deep enough on the collar. It was an ineffective gi choke, so I need to work on that.
You know, I like when you talk jiu-jitsu, Jimmy. I like it.
I just talk about things I'm not good at because that's what I would.
Yeah.
I was shown how to adjust though. Mike showed me how to adjust. I think it was the top hand. He showed me how to readjust it and then get a better grip, which I did.
You know, I like that. If you look on my Instagram today, I did a post, or tomorrow, it'll still be there. And I did a sitting to omoplata. Sometimes you get locked up standing up with a guy who's a better judoka. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who's a better wrestler. You're like, yo, I'm not getting this guy down. I just hope he puts me down gently type of shit. So you can either sit the guard into sweeps, or you can sit the guard into submissions instead of just pulling guard. So I'm a big believer in sitting into reversals, sitting into submissions. So I see, it's so funny because one of my Jedi Psycho Gary Starr, one of my black belts, he teaches for me. And he's been sitting to the omoplata. And then at a Coinkydink, I saw this guy, Lovato Jr., who's so good. He's an American jiu-jitsu guy. He's so good, this guy. I'm a big fan. I like him. And he used to fight MMA, too. He's a champion in MMA.
Yeah.
But very good jiu-jitsu guy. I seen him do it at the Masters Worlds. I'm like, that's the same thing that Psycho's doing. Let me play with it. And I instantly got in the arsenal. I like it so much. So I've been repping it and teaching it. And
is that what you're doing here? I'm just watching your.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. And with this one, you can go right into the finish. But then when at that part, that was the second part where when I went into it, he did a correct defense. So when he went to defend it, I went with it, and then I rolled back into the omoplata. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. That part was that was, you know, I've been doing that for years with them defending and me rolling back into it. It rolls back in harder, and then they can't roll out or defend because I got their far arm with the underhook.
Are they supposed to roll over when you're about to do that? I'm very inexperienced with the omoplata.
Yeah.
You're supposed to roll over?
Yeah, but they can't roll over because I have him around the back, you know? I'm grabbing around his back so he can't roll over. So he faces me, and he puts his outside knee and outside arm to my butt and to underneath my butt, and they pull me on top to relieve the pressure. And then when I go over, instead of just settling on cross-side, I roll right back and attack the arm again. So it's fun. Hey, man.
Okay.
Plata, please. But that's so funny
see.
to me because that whole time when I was explaining that, I was looking at you, and in my heart was breaking because I thought, all right, I got to be professional because Jimmy's texting somebody or looking at something when I'm telling him this nice story. And then I realized, Jimmy, you were looking at me.
I was watching your video.
And then I got happy again.
Yes.
Okay.
See, but I know if someone tries to choke me, I do understand. I'm just going to answer the phone.
You know who's calling. You know it. It could be the Sandman. No, you're right. Because it could be the Sandman. You're right. Or it could be Mr. Grim fucking Reaper. So, hey, depends on the situation, huh? You know what's funny, Jimmy?
Let me ask you before you. What do they say to do that for? Is that the head and arm choke? When they say answer the phone, what choke is it that they're saying?
It is. It's like the other day when you were saying I thought you said the arm triangle, but you were saying the triangle. But
triangle. So yeah.
The triangle, the arm triangle, or the head and arm choke. When they do, then they have you. They're mounted, and they have your arm like this, and they just strangle you. How Islam Makhachev got Charles Oliveira.
That's right. Yeah.
So with that, if you bring your hand in here, it's supposed to give some space to try to open up this carotid artery, but they'll just compress this. They'll compress this. Oh, and so that's no good. So what you need to do is the arm that's trapped, the near side leg, you interlock your fingers and you grab around that leg and you straighten it. That way your carotid artery gets open. Okay. I'll show you when we're together.
Yes, I would like that. Yes. We have Mohammed Usman in the waiting room. Let's bring him in. He's fighting Jake Collier this Saturday.
Now, when's the last time we've seen him?
Muhammad's last fight, he beat Junior Tafa in April. It was a decision.
And Junior Tafa just had a win. Yeah, man. Dude, I say we all go shirtless. Who wants to go shirtless?
I am going to want. I'm not going to do that. We can't hear you, Muhammad.
Get them up. We have to have the audio on. So I know he hears us. We don't hear you, and we need to because this is great. But Jimmy, we should all do this. It would be great for a great video, viral clip.
It would not be a viral. It'd be like, who are these two fighters, and who is this man with breasts?
Who's the little guy with the tits?
Yeah, who's the little guy with turkey tits? I'm not doing it.
I say when he comes back in, we all take our shirts off.
I disagree.
Unless
I film like this.
Can I take my shirt off?
Go ahead.
He has his shirt off.
I know. All the guys are doing it, but you know who's not? Yeah. For people who don't know, Matt is any excuse to take his shirt off. Matt's like a fucking stripper at a barbecue. Any excuse. Any excuse.
Yeah. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
There he is. How you doing, sir? Yes, we got you now.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Man, this is
You're not gonna do it with us? You're not gonna do it with us?
I am certainly not going to do it with you because it would ruin the aesthetics. It would ruin the aesthetics. Two guys in shape. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yes, let's go. Hey, to be honest though, Muhammad, USADA, I got a flamethrower for a cock. I am pissing dirty. Okay. So I'm just letting you know. So I almost feel like a cheater because I don't deserve these veins, but it's just jujitsu. Hey, man, how you been, bro? We miss you, man. We want to see you back in action. We're so happy you're back.
Yeah, man, I've been good, man. I've been training hard this camp, man. I've just been at a place of just constant improvement.
Yeah, you feel good. Now you're coming up against Jake Collier has lost 4 out of 5, and I always think when a guy's on a streak like that, I mean, you guys are always dangerous, but you know that he's somebody who's in it's a tough spot to be in when you've lost 3 straight. Are you looking at him as somebody who's kind of coming in feeling like almost desperate for a win?
100%. In general, I think I said this the first time we kind of spoke. Everybody's going to want to fight me like it's their Super Bowl because of my last name.
Right.
So on top of that, and then you have a guy that with his back against the wall, almost like a wounded animal. I know he's going to come out swinging. He's going to come out swinging for the fences. And, if he watched my last fight, he's thinking, let's just come out there. And all these guys, at heavyweight, I don't, if he blows his load, that's on him. But I know he's going to come out swinging for the fences.
Yeah, and there's anybody at heavyweight. I mean, they say the power is the last thing to go, and no matter how good you are, I mean, you get hit by another heavyweight, you feel it. That's the biggest danger at your weight class is that even a slight mistake punch could take somebody out.
100%. Yeah, there's the thing about my weight class is you have to continuously be on your guard the whole fight. There's no one time when you're like, oh, let's fight like these little guys and bounce around. No, these guys are trying to throw every punch. Any punch can land, could put you to sleep.
I'm sorry. I'm reading about Muhammad that he picked up MMA while working at a Lifetime Fitness, but it's like that's kind of unusual to me because it's like, wasn't your brother already training and stuff, or no?
Yeah. See, I was still trying to play football at the time. So I basically once I got released, I was just training, working at LA Fitness, and then I would train during my breaks. And then me and my coach, you know, it's one of those moments when the thing lights up on the top of your head. I was just like, Coach, I'm gonna start fucking fighting. He was like, what? I said, shit, bro's doing it. He's having success. And I'm over here trying to get picked up by a team. It's almost like I'm getting left behind. So I was just like, at this point in my life, I was just like, man, I'm gonna do it. So then I just started training, bro, 5 months, and then did my first pro fight.
When you were when Kamaru was training, were you a naturally were you a guy that had a lot of fights growing up, or did you just know that you're strong and you're obviously a great athlete? What made you say, hey, I can make this transition?
Of course, cornering my brother. I've seen the mental reps of things. I've been on this bit, just been there with him the whole step. I've kind of just, the mental reps are just as important as physical reps. Like every time I would go, I would just soak up a little bit, not really indulging in it, just soaking up everything, seeing how he trains, how his focus is and everything. And it was just something that went off in my head. I don't know. I was just training with my coach for football. And then after training, I kind of just looked at him and said, Coach, I think I'm going to start fighting. And he was like, what? He's like, just go, fuck it. Let's do it. And then just started training and just wanted to get my body in shape for fighting, because football shape and fighting shape are completely different. I just was like, once I get in enough shape that I can start learning this stuff, then I'll pick it up fairly fast. And I did.
Now, there's something interesting about, or something like in particular, when it comes to combat sports, the one-on-one aspect. You've definitely, I'm sure, had glory on the football field. What is you certainly had glory in the cage. What do you feel? What is the differences in those feelings of victory?
The difference, like when people ask me this, man, it's you always get that rush. Like, I play football, I'm a defensive end, so you can kind of feel my energy. Like when I come off the edge and I just completely destroy the tackle and come around the edge and just smash the quarterback and, hopefully knock his helmet off or do something disgusting and get up and just yell at the crowd. That's kind of the rush that I get, but MMA is a little bit more of a rush. Like I can't explain it. Like Rashad was telling me, it's a legit drug. I don't know, I'm not a junkie on the street, but that rush you get from MMA is definitely what those junkies are feeling, because it's a rush that you can't explain. It's you don't feel anything. You just feel this excitement of a rush, especially when you KO somebody. You just feel this rush and then I told my coach, like, a KO feels like nothing. When you KO somebody, it feels like it's just perfect. It doesn't even feel like you swung hard. It doesn't feel like anything. It just feels like you touched the guy.
Well, it's domination on a weird level, because you're not bullying someone. You're actually fighting another qualified killer and knocking him unconscious. I really can't think of anything that would feel better than that.
Nothing.
It's perfect. It's alone. No, because there's a bunch of guys. Yeah, this is just you and that guy.
Compare. Yeah, football does not compare. And, and I love football, man. It was my sport growing up. I was blessed to do it. I naturally had gifts for football. But when it comes to fighting, it's just a different energy, different feeling it's a gladiator. When you go against another man and you completely destroy him and just get your hand raised or get a knockout, it's a feeling that you walk back to the locker room knowing months of training, all this hard work you put in, and it paid off for this 15 minutes, 25 minutes of glory.
It's funny, man. I was watching the fights last night with one of my black belts, my Jedi Tony, and he was asking me, do you miss it? And it's like, I don't miss it, but I do feel like lucky to have those feelings that I listen to a good song. I remember just knocking out Frank Trigg, and I'm like, I feel that you still feel it. Like you have those memories that'll always be with you in the rocking chair. So, when you do walk away, you'll always have those moments with you.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about with Rashad Evans last night. He called me and we talked a little bit, and he was just like, man, he's just like, because I told him, like, sometimes, you have to be able to talk to your OGs in the game to kind of help you understand, because people say it's pressure, but, to a certain extent, we all have it. It doesn't matter if you're 0-3, if you're 10-0, that feeling that you have, that adrenaline rush before the fight, and, that pressure, you always going to have it, and Rashad was telling me, just hone it, just you're here, man. You're here. You made it. You made it to this level, man. Just fucking love it. And because when it's gone, bro. So just own that, man. You just own that pressure. It's no fucking pressure. Just own it and just be in the moment and just go out there and do what you do, man. And I really appreciate him for that. And it kind of put me back to my where I need to be, because I've really put in my fight, man. Every fight that I fight, man, is the most dangerous fight ever. It's the most craziest fight ever, because everybody's gonna come with everything they got from me, you know. And it's helped me put myself on a different level of, no matter what, I'm gonna get my hand raised. I'm gonna come out of there with a win.
And I know you made it to San Diego to the practice squad, and I actually think fighting is probably a safer route than NFL. I think there's more long-term damage in football than in fighting, because of the amount of hits in practice and every fucking 100%. Snap you're taking hits. Is there anybody in the NFL? We've seen a few guys, Greg Hardy, yourself, and a few other guys who have made that transition. Is there anybody in the NFL who you think would make a good fighter, who could transition to the UFC?
Oh man, I couldn't possibly say. You know, there's a lot of these guys that are freakishly strong, freakishly all these things. You know, that's just part of being an NFL athlete. You just have a lot of freakish gifts. You know, so I could say any of them honestly, because it's just about really put the work in. You know, because I say that, but let's give them a couple months in here, and then you start feeling all these things in your body, and you know, a lot of guys will stop showing up. Right. you get to a certain level that you have to make a mind up in your mind that this is really what you want to do, because there's no glory really in this. This is a choice. You know, you make this choice you want to really, really do this. And once I really understood that, I went to a different level in it, where it's like you completely indulge in this. Is like, I'm a mixed martial artist now. I'm not a football player no more. I am a MMA fighter, mixed martial arts fighter. You know, I've completely indulged myself in it now that I feel like I'm disattached from that. Of course, I'll still always have that in my pedigree, but I'm a complete fighter now.
Plus, I guess it's hard to tell when you've never seen other players, no matter how strong they are, you've never seen them take a punch, or how do they handle jiu-jitsu. So I guess it is a tough question, because you've never seen them in those situations.
Exactly. And it's just and it's really just being patient too. You know, I had to learn that about this sport, man. Just patience. You know, I'm not going to be the best guy every day I go to the training room anywhere, but you know, I can be the guy that always shows up. And that for me is what got me, I feel like, to this point. Just show up. You know, you show up, you know, your body could be banged up, could be whatever. You know, if I show up every day, I get better every day. And I have to test that to, you know, my coaches.
Yeah. Hey, Mohammed, on a day off, give us what do you like to do as a hobby, or anything that you're streaming on the streaming services, or a book you're reading? Give us a little nugget. What do you like to give us a hobby you like to do?
Oh man, I like to read books. You know, I like audio books. You know, like I have a Coach Tremaine, that he'll send me different books for me to read, especially going towards, you know, closer to the fight. You know, like Get Into Neutral. You know, I've read different books like that. You know.
Oh, what's that about? What is that about?
Get Into Neutral is about it's you know, he speaks of Russell Wilson, Kobe Bryant, all these guys that it's basically about you know, our nerves, the nerves that you get, that we naturally get from competing. It's about getting to a place where, you know, neutral. Let's say you're losing and you're getting beat up, you're losing or something. He says there's a thing you can do. There's certain things you can do, which we all have, that kind of helps you get into a middle neutral ground. You know, neutral is a place that you can always get to, that you can go up or down. You know, instead of being so down, you know, or being so up. You want to be neutral, because when you're neutral, you can observe things, you can react, you can do whatever you need to when you're in a neutral ground. When you're not in a neutral ground, you're just everywhere. But when you're neutral, you can focus, you know, even with me, I've learned something crazy. I know you guys are going to laugh, but my Get Into Neutral is cleaning. You know, it's certain things you can do to put yourself at a neutral state, to put your mind at a neutral state. For me, it's cleaning. Whenever I clean, I put my mind back into this neutral, concentrated, focused state. And I know that sounds crazy, but organizing and cleaning is my thing. That's how I get to neutral. And
do you have a little OCD? Do you have a little OCD? Oh, yeah.
If I show y'all my room right now, y'all be like, "Oh, okay, this guy."
You're very neat.
I have to, because let's say you wake up, you know, late, which I don't, but let's say you wake up late you know where everything is. I can just boom, 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 plug and play. I'm ready to go out the door. I never wanted to be that guy that's like, where's my socks? You're looking around everywhere looking. I know where everything is. I know how to grab everything, put everything in my box. I know where all my supplements are. I have everything where it just makes it more efficient for me that this is something less that I have to focus on because I got so much on my mind already.
I got to get this book. I am in reverse. I couldn't find any socks today. I'm not wearing socks. I wear Crocs a lot.
Oh man, it's gonna change your world, man. It's gonna change it.
I need to get a neutral.
Yeah.
And I think you starting in 2016, I think that's really pretty amazing, especially with Kamaru being your brother. I think it's harder than what other people have had to do because you had to kind of go back to zero and go, I was this high-level football player, and now I'm the new guy in the gym, and I have the last name Usman, so they're expecting something of me or they're judging me differently. I think that is a harder leap than a lot of guys have had to make.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, Kamaru, for being a legend. Thank you. You made it a little harder on me, brother, but thank you. Yeah, I've kind of made peace with it because it's really raised my level because it is, man. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's not hard. It's hard. When, like Les Brown says, when you read these little things, he said, when it's hard, you do it hard. So I've kind of made peace with it being hard and done everything hard. I work hard and I'm prepared to go where I know a lot of these guys aren't willing to go to win.
Well, you're 10-2. I mean, you have a great record. That's an excellent record, 10-2. So you're on your way, and you're fun to watch. And look, I'm looking forward to this fight Saturday. This is a great card from top to bottom. And I'm sure we'll see you fighting, higher and higher in the ranks in the coming, months and near years. I don't want to say coming years. By this time next year, I'm just sure you'll be fighting higher in the ranks. So always good talking to you, Mohammed.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Thank you guys, man. And I feel great. I'm in the best shape I've been in since I played football. So, it's gonna be a good one. I know he's gonna come.
Yes.
But I'm coming too.
Fuck, man.
Have a great
just like
fight.
Deion said, we here.
Yep.
I love it, man. And if I was in the shape like that, I wouldn't even own a shirt. I like it. Mohammed, do your thing, bro.
Have a great fight Saturday.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to have a great fight.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, be good. Yeah, I see why Kamaru, we didn't get to this, but Kamaru likes to have Mohammed as kind of like a hype guy in his corner. Like you can see how his energy is a very, very focused, positive energy. He's, you know what I mean? He's like a laser, Mohammed. So yeah, that's a great place to be.
Yes, I like him a lot too. He's a very, very. It's
you
like
can't not like him.
Almost like a jovial, like
You know who shouldn't like him? Jake Collier. Anybody who he's about to punch should probably not like him. But aside from that, I can't see why you wouldn't like him.
I'm with you on that. There were some contracts handed out.
Yeah, 5, I think. Am I correct? 5 or 4? Only one fight, Matt, did not have a contract. Let me go back and look. Fucking old man, bad memory I have.
I feel, what I feel bad about when it was a good fight. It was a draw with the girls, with Stephanie Luciano and
yeah, unanimous draw. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
A unanimous draw. Yeah.
Yeah. With Talia, what is it? Talita
Alencar.
Yeah. I feel horrible because they were both like holding hands during when he's announcing it.
Yeah.
But they're holding hands, interlocking fingers, and they're both like, maybe he'll take both of us. So
okay.
Unfortunately, one girl's 23 and the other one's 32. So Stephanie Luciano is 23. So the young lady got a contract, and unfortunately for Talita, did not. But listen, man,
she'll get another fight.
Yeah, but also I want to mention,
our
guy Dylan Montello, who's one of Serra Longo fighter, great guy, powerful, and he got actually put to sleep. Unconscious rear naked choke by Kanan
Chusky,
who's a stud. and that was shaping up to be a hell of a fight. And when I was talking to Longo after, Longo goes, "That's his type of fight too. Yeah, that's a fight where I think he said he thinks that he would have got him sooner or later, but that did not happen. He got taken out with a submission, and he got put to sleep. So, Dylan will be back, and congrats to Kanan.
Sure.
Know what I mean? And then
and there were 4 contracts, man. I was incorrect. Yes, four out of 5.
Yes.
And Igor da Silva, a TKO over Jonata Silva in the second round. It was a great night of fights. And Daniel James Allen, congratulations.
Yes.
Decision over Jacoby Jones.
Let's promote the fights this week.
Shamil Ghaziyev, of course, over Greg Valesco. I don't want a first round sub.
Sorry.
So I don't want to. Yes, of course. This Saturday, let me a great fight. Mateusz Gamrot against Rafael Fiziev. That is this Saturday, September the 23rd in Vegas. Nice and early. ESPN Plus at 4:00 is the prelims. Main card 7:00. ESPN Plus. So yeah, great early fights on Saturday. So you don't have to get the pay-per-view. So I suggest
goddamn right, man.
Yes, by the way, thank you, Jake. He did say, Dana, Shevchenko Grasso 3 will happen, and it's the biggest fight for both of them. It should happen, and I think he was talking about that 10-8 round.
I think it should happen too.
That's been bothering me all week. Like, I just don't understand how the fuck this guy justifies that. Referee or judges should at times have to be held accountable in front of other judges to go, I watched that again, that last round. They were standing for 3.5 minutes. They were trading. Valentina was landing, her jab was landing, overhand right was landing, and Alexa was landing. And I think Valentina took her down and got reversed. And I think that's how she wound up on her back. I believe Valentina took her down or went for that takedown, and then Alexa went up on her back. That is such a fucking egregious, horrible round scoring that they should investigate any possible motives to that. It's one of the worst things I've seen in years, if not ever.
It was
egregious.
This I'm going to tell you the 3. I want you to plug whatever you have to plug, because there's 3 things I have to do right now.
Okay, let me see. Shit.
No. Well, you want me to tell you, because that's one of them.
Let me plug. You have to shit tonight, 7 p.m. Fat Black Pussycat. It sells out every week, so come down. And I'm coming up to see our Canadian fans September the 28th in Toronto for the Just for Laughs Festival. What are the other 2 things you have to do, Matt?
Oh, well, the first one was caca, and the other one was a poop.
Oh, well, look,
listen, caca poopa duty. Listen to me. That's from a Mel Brooks movie when he's trying to explain something.
Sure.
Using some language, and they're like, there's kids in the audience, and he's like, well, you take the caca poo duty. Like, it was just hysterical.
Let me just, before we go, I know you have to shit. The main card, Rafael Fiziev at 12-2.
Okay,
does battle with Mateusz Gamrot at 22-2. Matt, this is gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be good, Jimmy.
Dan Ige, Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce, that's the co-main.
Co-main event.
Such a great card.
If you're not happy about that, Michelle Waterson,
Jimmy, I gotta use. Yeah, Michelle Waterson's back to Karate Hottie. I can't wait for the show.
Marina Rodriguez.
Jimmy, I gotta go to the bathroom.
No, I know. Bryan Battle, who we just had on, Matt, a great time against AJ Fletcher. Ricardo Ramos.
Yeah, that's the whole card. Who's the giveaway?
Charles Jourdain opening up the card. And let's not forget the prelims.
No, Jimmy, that's going to be so good. Listen, everybody. Jimmy, I love you, man.
I love you, Matt. See you guys. Thank you very much to Mohammed and to Bryan. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Oh, shit.